If you're a barber, I know you've felt this before. 1 week, you're booked out, clients rolling in, money stacking up. The next, your schedule's empty, checking your phone, waiting on bookings that inconsistently come. Every busy season ended the same way. I was back at square one. I thought that posting a few cuts, my personality, and word of mouth would keep me booked, but I was dead wrong. The top barbers, the ones charging crazy prices and staying booked out, aren't working harder than you. They're just working smarter. They have a system that builds up so much demand that clients come to them even during the dry season. And I know because I was stuck in this cycle for years. But once I figured it out, everything changed. Now I charge $250 per cut, bringing in 25K months all year round. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why barbers struggle with slow months and, more importantly, how to fix it forever. So you never have to stress about those empty bookings again. Let's get into it. The first is, why does this even happen? There's no game plan for those slow months. Barbers, they grind in the busy season, but don't actually prepare when bookings get dry, which is inevitable. There's no retention system, retaining a client into the chair once they've came back to you the first time. There's no demand or a backup plan. Instead of fixing the real issue, common barbers, they panic. They slash prices even, or hope for the best. Maybe they increase the prices and they're like, damn, I'm not booked now, what do I do? The third on this list now is no scalable business model. Barbers, most of them, they still think like employees, not business owners. They trade their time for money with no system working for them. And without a structured way to grow, every slow season starts feeling like you're starting from scratch, right? But it doesn't have to be like that. So I kind of like to think of it like this, right? Let's say you have a farmer. Farmers, their goal is to reap crops and get fruits and, harvest. One thing is that seasons are inevitable. You're going to have fruitful seasons where these mangoes are popping. He's eating good. And in the dry season, it's less green, right? He's not getting vegetables in. He's not getting that money in. So what a farmer does is that during the dry season is where he starts to anticipate. It's like, damn, okay, I see it coming. Like, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my seeds, put it in, plan for those dry seasons. And the caveat here is that the farmers, they have to anticipate when those dry seasons come and stay ready and have a plan. Just like here in business, there's little or no difference here. You can't be having a business that flourishes all year round. You actually have to plan for those low income months and think of it on a long-term scale, just like how the farmer does. Sustainability over just short-term thinking. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Which brings me perfectly into my next point, which is, how do you fix this cycle forever? The first step is you have to shift your mindset from a reactive mindset to a proactive mindset. External factors such as seasons, market, trends, and social media trends will always fluctuate. Like, that's just a part of the game. The difference between barbers who thrive and those who struggle is how they respond to those changes. Reactive barbers wait for things to happen, right? When business is slow, they panic and they're just all over the place. They're hoping for clients to show up. They don't have a game plan. They rely on luck and trends and good months to carry them. The proactive barbers take control. They anticipate the slow months. It's like they plan and they build a system that keep their chair full, right? No matter what the season is. They don't just rely on hopes. They create a consistent demand through a strategy and actually preparing. And the best barbers, they don't rely on skill. They understand that this is the nature of the game. You have to accept as a businessman that in business, there's ups and downs, and that's fine. Right? It's just what it is. But what's not fine is failing to prepare for those slow months. Because if you're not preparing, you're literally reacting. Something happens and you're like, oh, what do I do now? Whereas a proactive state is where you come in, okay, let me plan, let me look back, review. That's kind of what like a proactive workflow in the head looks like. So if you're only thriving when everyone else is popping, you're operating like a leaf in the wind, letting external factors decide how much money you make. The reason why your books are inconsistent isn't because you're not good at cutting hair. Like, you might be a beast with the clippers, but relying on the idea that my work will speak for itself is outdated. Good haircut quality used to work. The traditional route back then, that would bring in clientele. Like, referrals, be like, damn, that's a good haircut. But nowadays, a good haircut quality alone isn't enough in 2025. What you need is something else: demand. And the easiest way to create high volume of demand in 2025, social media. Let's be real though. Posting, editing, managing content can be very overwhelming, especially after a full day of cutting. Like, you barely have the energy to do that crap, right? And that's why you need a sustainable approach. So when you shift from a reactive to a proactive mindset, you stop worrying about what you can't control, like the market or the season. You start focusing on what you can control, which is what you can do right now. When you get this right, you build demand during your busy seasons so that when slow months hit, you're not scrambling for clients and you actually have a safety net of built up interest. And pre-booked appointments that keep your income steady year-round. This means that you're not just busy when the trends or events are popping. You've created a self-sustaining demand machine that works even when the slowest periods. The barbers who win long-term are the ones who stop waiting for clients and start creating consistent demand. And when you create this demand, you control your income. And when you control your income, you're the one with the hands on the wheel, steering your business exactly where you want it to go, instead of letting the market decide for you. So stop hoping for business and start creating it. Let's say you're in a slow season right now, not completely dead, but not breaking records. Or maybe you're just floating around below average, cutting fewer clients than usual and feeling stuck. The common mistakes that barbers do is that they waste this time. They sit in the chair, scrolling in this limbo state, waiting for business to magically pick up, drowning in their own frustration, instead of doing purposeful work outside of cutting hair that actually moves them forward. How you use your slow seasons determines how successful your next busy season will be. Instead, use this time to strategically level up every area of your life. And how I really like to make all this very simple is that life is like a stovetop. You've got 4 burners. Let me explain. If you got 4 burners running all at the same time, blasting heat, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to explode. That stovetop can't handle that type of heat and pressure for that long. Life is the same way. In life, you got 4 burners as well, each one representing a major area of your life. First one is earning, right? This is where you're actively making money, cutting hair, trying to get more clients, doing the work that brings in that income. Right? Earning. Now, learning is where you level up, right? Whether it's mastering social media, perfecting your craft, understanding like more business strategies, self-improvement, right? This is the burner that fires you up and push you to your full potential, right? Not to stay stuck at that same level, right? It's your self-development, right? And skill acquisition. And the third burner and area of life is relationships. You can't just be all business, right? If you neglect your personal life, that'll create personal problems, whether it's at home, in life, your work. It will bleed into your business, your environment, your people that you surround yourself with, or impact your success. And the fourth burner is health and performance. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're burning out fast. Staying fit, working out, builds that tolerance to pain, or at least physically. And when your energy is high, you can exert more effort into everything. Your cuts, your life, your business growth. And I know it sounds crazy, but the better shape that I was in, the more money I make. I won 2 Muay Thai fights while hitting 15K months because high energy, high focus, high discipline carried over into my business. If you're constantly like feeling sluggish, unfocused, or unmotivated, this is the reason why. Your battery and your tolerance of exerting effort is low. Because if your energy is low, your business will be too. When you crank all 4 burners on high at the same time, things start breaking down. You burn out, your energy is stretched thin, which gets you distracted easier. And instead of thriving, you're trying to hold everything together until you eventually explode, burn out, and deflating like a balloon. Then trying to like scramble everything back together and stuck in that same loop. Successful top barbers and entrepreneurs know how to adjust the heat and balance the fire within. Let's say when business is booming, they turn up earning burner and keep an eye out on health and learning so that they don't burn out. When business is slow, they understand that it's time to turn up learning, sharpening the skills, fixing their weaknesses, maybe learning advertising or marketing or optimizing their calendar to prepare for the next wave. This mentality right here is like one step back to take a leap forward. It's the nature of the game, which is a sustainable way and an effective way, which perfectly leads me to my next step. Your personal life equals your business success. Most barbers make this mistake of thinking that their personal life and their business life is separate, but they are 100% linked. If your life outside the shop is a mess, it will always reflect in your business, right? You can't clock out of work, revert back to your old habits, then expect to show up to the shop the next day and magically like be on top of your game. Like it doesn't work like that, right? Because the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. If your room is consistently messy, no matter how many times you clean it, your business will run the game the same way. Chaotic, unstructured, in the constant need of fixing. And if you're always feeling sluggish, barely taking care of your body, you struggle to focus with consistency and energy in your business. Having good habits is important, we all know that. But you don't really get how deep this goes. What habits are basically automated action. Things you do without thinking, right? Let me give you an example. No one has to tell you to check your phone first thing in the morning. Or let's say tie your shoelace a certain way. Like you just do it. Right? Because it's wired into you. Now, here's the kicker. Habits control 80% of your life. And what most you do, how you think, how you react, how you move, it's all automated. It's all on autopilot. So if your default habits are weak, your default results will be weak. If you improve your habits, you're not just improving a small part of like your routine, but you're actually upgrading 80% of everything you do, right? If you fix your habits, you fix 80% of your life. That means that leveling habits equals leveling your income. If your habits are weak, so is your business. It's as simple as that. Which perfectly leads me to my next step, is the key to long-term success. The goal isn't to have all 4 burners blasting max all at the same time. That's how you burn out and self-sabotage. The goal is knowing when to adjust each one based on your situation so that the burner can run the strongest and sustainably. So during this period, work on your content, refine your pricing strategy, build your personal brand, improve your skills. But when it's time, know when to take care of your body and mind, your personal development. Business is about how long you can run for, not about how fast you can burn out. This life is a marathon, not a sprint. So if you're in a slow season right now, don't waste time complaining or waiting for clients to show up. When that next busy season hits, if you implement this, you won't be just working harder, you will be working smarter, charging more and keeping clients year round. That's not how you just bulletproof your business, but it's how you bulletproof yourself. Look, I know what it's like to be grinding every day, hoping things would change, but still feeling stuck in that same cycle. And the truth is that barbers that make the most money, the ones that aren't stressing over slow months, and the ones that are charging ridiculous amounts, they aren't working harder than you. They're just using better systems. A system that engineers demand, that attracts high-paying clients on autopilot. Now, you can spend the next year trying to figure this out all on your own, wasting time, money, and the energy making the same mistakes that I did. And trust me, I say this because I made every mistake in the book. Pricing too low, struggling to keep clients, relying on walk-ins instead of learning how to create demand for my services. It took me years of trial and error to crack the code, but hard work isn't the problem. You're already putting in the hours. You're already grinding, but somehow it still feels like you're hustling just to stay in the same place. The real issue, you're working hard on the wrong things. You don't need more hours in a day, you need better strategies. So I put together a free presentation where I break all of this down step by step so you don't have to waste time making the same mistakes that I did. Even give you free tools to help you get started. Just click the link in the description, it's free. Drop a like, comment what you thought, and subscribe for more because I drop free sauce all the time. I'll see you in the next video.